Did you feel like Kentucky was just better today?
Sure. I mean, listen, this is the team that's been ranked 11 out of the 15 weeks of the year. I think coaches picked them 3 or 4 in the preseason. They've been hurt. They've been banged up. They hadn't had their full roster. They've had it for the last few games, and they're playing like it. I mean, they were – and I'm sure they looked at their schedule when they got to a certain point and went, wait, we can finish with 9 or 10 wins. And I think they're headed that way. I mean, they really played well. Shot it well, and they played well early, particularly, which for us, we spent a lot of energy to get a great crowd in here. We didn't perform like we wanted to, but like I told Amber, today was more of a celebration of your whole career, not just one day. So don't let that be the memory of it. If we could have got off to a little bit of a better start, we could have weathered it, but they just punched us in the mouth with Howard, getting off to such a good start. The first half felt eerily similar to our Wright State game last year, where we would guard for 24, 25 seconds, create a miss, they'd get a rebound in an and one, or they'd get a rebound in a kick out. Just never could capture any momentum. I don't think we had 3 consecutive stops, which we normally have 4 or 5 of. So, but I give Kentucky the credit. They were disruptive in what we were trying to do, and they did about what they wanted to do. I thought they abandoned a lot of their set plays and just went to finding matchups that were favorable, and we didn't do a very good job of just guarding straight line drives, which then gets you into rotation, which gets you into rebounding issues. So it all flowed together. But I think Ryan Howard is, we know she's one of the best players in the country, not just our league, but best players in the country, and she played like it today, and then the other players around her did what they do.
And kind of following off that, the big crowd, it seemed to me like that you never got to use that emotion at all.
Just in pregame.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't give them any reason to – no consecutive scores. Amber hitting the first 3 of the game, that was probably the loudest in-game moment. And you hope to capitalize on crowds better. But, again, we're not used to having a crowd that big. That's good for us to learn. Hopefully we can continue to get it in there to where that momentum will help us. But we didn't do anything to take advantage of it from that point on. And then, we're human. Then you start thinking, man, we're letting them down. And I've told y'all we've got a team of pleasers. And it was said, man, we're letting this crowd down. No, you're not. This crowd is here. If they came just for hoping that it was going to be the one-day thing, I think a lot of these people wanted to come during COVID. They wanted to be here when we played UConn. They wanted to be here when we played some of those other games. They couldn't. But for them to be out here today, and send Amber off like that'll be something we remember a long time more than we do the final score.
I don't know whether you talked to your kids after the game or not.
I don't.
I thought I remembered that, but what do you put into this game now with the quick turnaround and 2 more this week?
Well, we had 2 more, 3 more, yeah. We prepared ahead of time. We told them, we said we're going to have 4 games in 7 days. Starting today, this time next week, our regular season is over. So, the way we practiced, the way we led into it, we said no matter what happens on Sunday, we're going to have a short memory. Win or lose, you got to have a short memory. You can't even wait until we walk out of this gym. You got to turn your attention to Ole Miss. Then you got to turn your attention to Georgia. Then you got to turn your attention to Mississippi State. So hopefully we've prepared for the week as a whole. We didn't get off to a great start, but I do think that they will have a short memory.
How much did having Michaela back make an impact, and then having her, back for the next 3 games?
I think it obviously impacted us in a positive way, but it was different. Again, it's back to where we were. Hadn't had it in a few games. I think it took us a while to settle in. I really do. And I think, that changes every single person's matchup. It changes every single person's role than what they've had the last, was she out 4 games? 3.5? Yeah. So, again, a new team, but having her back, we'd much rather have her than not have her. Let me just say that. And good to get her back at the first part of this. I did not play her late in the game with in mind that she was back and had played well and hopefully has some confidence going into the rest of the week. We did sub a little bit earlier than we probably normally would have, again, with that in mind that the health and safety of these kids with 4 games in 7 days. There's a reason we don't normally do that in a season, but it's what we have this year, so we'll err on the side of making sure they're rested and plenty healthy.
And then what did you think of the kind of celebration of Amber, and how did she kind of handle that spotlight today?
Well, like you expect her to, with a lot of class and a lot of poise, and she keeps it all in perspective. She sees that it wasn't about this game. She wanted to win, don't get me wrong, and she wanted to perform well. But it was a celebration and for the 4 years, not 24 hour, not 2 hours that we were here. And she's appreciative. She's thankful for her days here. She's a Razorback. Even though she's not from Arkansas, she'll be Razorback her whole life.
I saw Chelsea was here. What did it mean to you and to them to have her here?
Yeah, just all the alumni. Seeing Christy Smith back, seeing Coach Collin come back. I couldn't really tell whoever else was back. I didn't get is during the live game, but anytime we can have our alumni back, it means a lot to our kids. We've tried to embrace them. We sent out really nice gifts this summer to try to continue to cultivate relationships with all of our alumni because we know that we wouldn't have what we have today without the things that they sacrificed during the building of this program.
Coach, as you celebrate Amber today, just how do you assess the impact she's had on this team and on this program?
Well, we are, I think it's the last 3 years that's the most SEC wins in any 3-year span in history. She's got to be part of that conversation for helping it. I think, too, her coming here was kind of one of those check marks of, hey, Arkansas is an option for a great player. She was highly recruited out of high school, McDonald's All-American. And, when she came, we didn't have anything really recent evidence to sell her. We were selling her on what it could be and what we hoped it would be. So she'll leave a legacy. That's kind of a term that we use around our place. That's a standard. She's certainly going to be – she certainly earned her letter. I mean, we ran out of things to give her. We gave her her framed jersey last year. I don't know if you saw the shoes we had made for her this year, but she earned her letter. She's going to be remembered, and I will argue with anybody that she's got to leave a legacy as well.
Time here, what's been your favorite memory of her?
Man, it's going to be hard. Probably the day she told me she was coming. She had I'd recruited her at Washington and didn't work out for her to play out there. And then the internet started talking about Amber Ramirez was probably leaving TCU, so I was kind of anxiously waiting on a phone call, and I didn't get one initially. I was I wonder what she's waiting on, But when she called me, she said, "Coach, there's no question where I'm coming. We're just going to take our time." But that phone call is what I'll remember. Her believing at the first. And then, her jersey will be hanging in my game room. She'll be one of those kids that gets their jersey sung in our game room. So she's awesome with my kids. I'll remember that as much as anything, the way she treats Bowen and Barrett, the two youngest, and the way she's treated Alec and Abby, my two older ones, and how she's been a mentor on this team. She's gone a step beyond being a leader. There's a lot of teams that have leaders, but we don't get a chance to see them sometimes at this age. But she has gone a full step further and has started really helping every single player on our team develop a plan for being as successful as she has been. She's told them the good, bad, and the ugly. And I think that's what I'll remember most is how she came back knowing full well we were going to be young and knowing that this was going to be the hardest of her 4 years here because we did make that decision to play these young kids. I said, you're going to be by far the oldest one, by far the most experienced one. So there's going to be growing pains, and she never shied away from that. She never begged off of a responsibility. She just said, keep bringing it on. Yep.
Aaron Barnum, good to see her walk back out to the bench there for the senior day. You have an update on her?
Yeah, it was not a knee. We think it's a sprained hamstring, so that's just those are touchy. But it was probably good news that it wasn't the re-injury of the knee. I had just brought her down on the bench. I thought she had played the best that she's played since she's been back. And I said, hey, what do you think here? Go back in for another 3 or 4 minutes to get some more confidence, or do you have enough confidence going into these last 3 games in the tournament for us? And she kind of thought on it for a minute. She goes, I want to play. So I hope that we don't regret that going back in there at that. But was good to see her walk out, and it does not appear to be the knee.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.